Help! My BF ghosted me after I asked him to open our relationship for a weekend.
Hello, people of Reddit. Today I'll share with you how my boyfriend just kicked me out of his place for some other girl. All of this happened when I asked him to open our relationship. My story is kind of messy, but it's the same for all the people in their 20s. I'm putting it out here so you all know that you are not alone. Everyone is having a messy life. I, female, 22, was in a relationship with my boyfriend, 22 years. Let's call him Ray. We were dating for more than a year. We both graduated from college this year. I met my boyfriend in the first year. We both were freshers and had the same courses. We met at the freshers party and instantly became friends. We made other friends as well, but we were really close. We used to hang out a lot, just the two of us. We used to go to our classes together and would hang out together for long hours after classes, then go back to the dorm. We both were single at that time. One day I told Ray that I want to have fun in university. That day we helped each other make profiles in dating apps like Bumble and Hinge. Everyone in the university was using these for casual hookups, and we thought we'll give it a shot too. After that, we both started casually hooking up with our match on these apps. It was going well. We both were good friends, so we used to share with each other how things were going with our dates. I was happy because I didn't want to get in a relationship or anything serious at that point of time. Few days passed like this. My roommate had recently started dating and would tell me things about her boyfriend. They were adorable together. It started to make me feel jealous because even though I had lots of options on the dating apps, I didn't have someone in my life to do all the boyfriendy stuff with. I used to just meet my dates at the university. We would hook up after a bit of small conversation, and then we would go our way. After a while, it started feeling lonely too. The hookups were getting boring. I wanted the relationship stuff as well. I saw my friends spending the nights with their boyfriends and doing all the couple things together. It made me want all that too. One day, Ray and I went to a bar near our college and got really drunk. I don't remember much, but I remember that we kissed and I spent the night with him. I didn't want things to be awkward, so I started avoiding him after that day. I avoided him for a week, but then he finally met me after class and asked me what was going on. I told him that I didn't want things to get awkward between us. He then told me that ignoring him was stupid. We went for a coffee in the campus cafe where we talked about a relationship. He said he felt the hookups were getting boring too. By the end of our discussion, he confessed that he really liked that night, and if I felt the same way, then we should give things between us a shot. I had enjoyed that night between us as well, but I didn't want to risk our friendships. I didn't have many friends in college anyways. I told him to give me some time to think about it. I kept thinking about what Ray had said to me. I realized that our friendship was never going to be the same after that night. And I really enjoyed that night. Considering everything, it was fair to give things between us a fair chance. I called him up a few days later and told him that I was ready to try out something between us. He was happy with that. We weren't ready for a serious committed relationship at that point, so we decided that we'll be just friends with benefits. And we used to still see other people occasionally, but then would tell each other about it. We were honest to each other about everything from the beginning. It was good to have some physical and emotional connection with the same person. I got to experience something apart from the sexual thing. I could talk to him normally. We would tell each other how our day went. It was really comforting. It also helped that we have been friends from the start of college. Everything was going really well. Our friends with benefits thing was going really well. Sometimes he would do really sweet things for me, like getting me flowers or stuff like that. We used to spend a lot of time together, and I started liking him. One day we were having dinner. He then told me that he really liked to hang out with me and liked me. It made me happy because I felt the same way about him. He said that we should get exclusive. I immediately agreed, as by that time I had developed a huge crush on him. And that's how we started dating each other. I was happy to finally get that emotional and physical connection with the same guy. He seemed happy too. I finally got the hype of all the couple things people used to talk about. One day we went on a painting date as our first date. Everything was going well between us. I was happy and content with him. I never had a proper relationship before him. Experiencing everything that came with the relationship was a fun experience. However, even though I had thought that I was finally ready for the relationship and moved on from the hookup stuff, I realized that I wasn't really ready for it. Whenever my boyfriend would be busy, I felt like texting guys on the app to go out with them. Being with the same guy was good in the beginning, but it was starting to get boring too. I started missing the thrill of seeing a new guy, having new conversations. I shared this with one of my friends. She told me that it was normal to feel this. She told me that I've been so used to the hookup culture that anything after that was supposed to feel boring. She told me that good relationships feel boring sometimes, but they also give stability. Although I knew that she was saying the right thing, I was still confused about whether I should talk to my boyfriend about it or not. He was my friend first and then boyfriend. I thought that maybe he'll actually listen and we could figure something out. My boyfriend was going to visit his family for the weekend. Since my home was far away, I was staying on campus. I was really bored and didn't have anything to do. I opened Bumble and was just scrolling through for fun. I told myself that I wasn't going to act on it or go and hook up with anyone. Just as I was going to close the app, I got a notification. It was a text from a guy I had matched earlier but never met. I checked his profile and he was really cute. He asked me if I was free to meet him for a coffee in the evening. I thought about it and then decided to go for it. I had nothing to do anyways and thought that what's the worst could happen. I thought that I wasn't doing anything wrong. There was nothing wrong in going for a coffee with a guy. I was sure that we would just have coffee and I would come back. I thought that I will explain this to my boyfriend later. However, when I went for coffee, the guy I met was really cute. He flirted with me throughout our time together. I laughed so much in such a short span of time. I couldn't just come back after having the coffee. We were walking when I kissed him and he kissed me back. He then dropped me to my dorm. I thought that I will tell everything to my boyfriend when he comes back. I thought that as my friend, he'll understand my situation and will help me in figuring stuff out. We weren't in a very serious, committed type relationship, so there was no reason for him to feel bad or anything. I was wrong though, because when my boyfriend came back, he told me how he had told his friends back home about me, how they were so excited for him and would love to meet me. I got the feeling that he was serious about this. He told me one more thing. He told me how one of his friends dumped his girlfriend after she kissed another guy. I listened intently as he told me that they were friends before and then started dating. And when she kissed another, he dumped her without wasting a second and stopped talking to her. Their story was so similar to what was happening with us that it was insane. I asked him what he felt about his friend's decision, and he said that he completely supported it and had told his friend that he was doing the right thing. This was the opposite of what I had thought. I had thought that we would have a civil conversation and would figure something out about our relationship. If he was this way about his friend's relationship, he would have surely removed me from his life if I told him about what had happened. I realized that it's better to not tell him what had happened when he was not here. I didn't want to lose him as a friend. I also didn't want to break up with him because I wasn't sure how he would take it. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to break up with him or not. Things were good between us. I thought breaking up just because I got bored isn't a good reason, and I should give things time. Things went like this for a while. I was giving myself time to see what I really wanted. I didn't want to make rash decisions and hurt him. After some time, I realized that I wanted him, but I didn't want to get locked down, and I wanted to keep exploring things on the side. I wasn't sure how my boyfriend would take this information, so I decided not to say anything to him. I thought maybe I was just confused about everything. If I went on a few dates with guys, maybe I will figure out what I actually wanted. Whenever my boyfriend used to go out of campus, I would open some dating apps, mainly Bumble or Hinge, and then would go with guys for a casual hookup. I was enjoying this and kept doing this for a while. One day, all of it went wrong. It was a Friday. My boyfriend and I got into a very big fight. He wanted me to go to his home with him to meet his family and friends. I thought it was too soon. I wanted to tell him that I wasn't so serious about him, but didn't say that. Instead, we got into a huge fight. I went to my dorm and started scrolling on Bumble. I matched with a guy and we were going to meet on that night itself. Ray messaged me later that he's going home alone and will see me later. I thought of sorting things out with him, but decided to wait till he comes back. That evening, I was waiting at the coffee shop for that guy to show up. I waited for a good 15 minutes, but no one came. I texted him if he was coming or not and that I'm waiting for him. Just as I hit send, my boyfriend entered the coffee shop. I was shocked to see him here. He was so angry that he came to my chair and started asking me why I was cheating on him in a harsh tone. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept looking at him. I told him that it wasn't what he was thinking. He raised his eyebrows like he knew I was lying. The guy I was supposed to meet that night entered the cafe. My boyfriend then told me that they were friends. His friend had told him about the girl he was meeting for hookup, and then he showed my boyfriend my picture on Bumble. I knew that I couldn't lie my way out of it now, so I didn't even try to lie to him anymore. I just listened to him as he told me he was so disappointed in me. He told me that he didn't think that I was a cheater. All the students around us started to stare at us. He then told me that he was ending things with me in front of the entire cafe. I was really upset and embarrassed. I just came back to my dorm from there. I cried a lot that night because I didn't mean to lose my friend in all this chaos. I thought that everything around me was getting too heavy and to take a break from everything. I decided that it would be best for me if I stopped dating for a while. I even decided to deactivate my account from Bumble and Hinge. These apps were doing me no good. I missed Ray. He was not only my boyfriend, but my best friend as well. I used to drop him texts telling him how sorry I was for the way things ended between us. I had hoped that he would finally forgive me and everything would get back to normal. The distance between us hurted me a lot. Earlier, he would wait for me after class, but now he was totally avoiding me. I tried to talk to him, but he would ignore me. He started sitting with his other friends and I was left alone. But finally, one day, when we bumped into each other at a common friend's party, I already had way too many tequila shots by then. I was too drunk, and I guessed he was high too. I went and hugged him, and he hugged me back. I told him that I missed him. He looked at me and told me that he missed me too. Maybe it was just because we both were high. We kissed that night. I spent that night with him again. The next morning when I woke up, I realized that I was in his place. I panicked and didn't know what to do. The bed was already empty. I went downstairs to find him in the kitchen. He was making coffee for both of us. I did what my instincts told me to do. I went and hugged him. He got tense for a while, but then quickly recovered as well and hugged me back. We then had coffee in silence. I told him how sorry I was for everything that had happened and that I really missed him. He listened to me silently and then told me that he missed me too. He then asked me why I was cheating on him. He said he really wanted to know what made me do something like that. He said he needed to know the complete reason behind it to let it actually go.
Yep.
He deserved to know the truth, so I decided to tell him from the beginning. I told him that I was confused and wasn't ready to get locked in a relationship. I told him that I wasn't a committed person. But I really liked him, and that's why I didn't want to end things with him either. He listened to everything I said with a neutral face. I didn't know what was going on in his mind, and finally gathered to ask him what he was thinking. He told me that he was thinking about what to do with us. He then said that we can try to be friends. That was enough for me. I wanted him in my life. If he was just willing to be friends, that was fine with me. I couldn't expect him to just forget everything and then get back with me like nothing happened. We started being friends again. After a while, he asked me if I was still on those dating apps. I told him no. He asked me why. I told him I needed a break from everything after he ended things with me. We kept hanging out with each other, but it wasn't just that. We would also kiss each other, or make out sometimes. We didn't specifically discuss what was going on, but it was going well. After a few weeks, he told me that he had forgiven me for going behind my back. He then asked me if I wanted to give between us a shot again. We could. I told him that I did want that, and we started dating again. If you think this is messy, wait for what comes next. So we started dating again. I moved into his apartment. Everything was going well, but some days would be really difficult. I felt like I was getting trapped. I missed hanging out with other guys. But this time, I didn't do anything stupid because I didn't want to ruin my relationship with my boyfriend. I noticed after a few days that my boyfriend was getting a lot of texts when we were together. His phone used to go off continuously with notifications. I asked him who was texting him, and he said that it was no one important. I didn't pay much attention to it, but when it happened again and again, I told him to be honest with me. He then confessed to me that it was a girl. He told me that after he ended things between us, he started hooking up with a girl. It was casual from his side, but she started liking him. Then, when we got back together, he ended things with her. She was still persistent to continue things with him, and that's why he keeps texting him. This was new information for me. I asked him if he liked her. He didn't deny it. He just said that I really like you. He looked confused and said that maybe he's just infatuated with her. I took some time to process it. I wasn't really hurt or upset after what he told me. Instead, I came up with an idea. I told him that he doesn't have to choose between me or her. There's another way to figure this out. He looked at me with hope, and then I asked him if we should open our relationship. He didn't understand at first, but then I explained it to him. I told him that we still get to be together, and at the same time, we get the freedom to explore other things on the side as well. This way, we could have everything without choosing. He said he needed some time to think through it. I said sure. After a few days, he told me that although he is not very sure, it couldn't hurt to try this. I agreed with him. We also decided that if we like this isn't working for us, we'll end this open relationship thing and just be exclusive together. He met that girl again while I downloaded Bumble and Hinge again. I was so excited to experience this again. I had only seen these people doing open relationships in TV shows or in books. I went on Bumble dates again. They weren't meant for anything serious, just casual hookups and fun. It was going well. My relationship with my boyfriend was also not suffering this time. We were honest to each other about what happened in our days, but we decided that we should not tell each other what we were doing outside our relationship with each other. It would do no good to know all that stuff. I shared this with my friends, and while some were happy for me, some were downright critical. They told me that nothing will work like this, and what we were doing was crazy. I told them that we were just in our early 20s. This was our time to have fun. We have our whole life in front of us. This seemed to shut them up. My boyfriend told me, although he wasn't sure at the start, this was working quite well in our favor. I agreed with him. Since we opened our relationship, we started to have less fights. We came back to each other with happy faces. It was working out well for us. It might sound complicated and messy if you're listening to this term for the first time, but it was just a way for us to find out what we actually wanted. Me and my boyfriend discussed how it was stupid to come into a committed relationship at such an early age. Opening our relationship has helped us to explore other things, like physical intimacy and other things. I was really happy till I started noticing that my boyfriend started staying out for a really long time. He would come back home really late sometimes. He would come long after dinner had turned cold. I didn't ask him where he was because we both knew where he was. I just thought that he was having his fun, so I let him have it. But then it started getting too much. On a weekend, he told me that he was going out of town for the weekend. I couldn't help it and asked him who he was going with. He gave me a look like, "Don't be stupid." He was going with some girl. It didn't sit well with me, but I didn't dwell on it. I spent the weekend with a guy as well. When my boyfriend came back from the weekend, he was very happy, like he had won some lottery or some shit. I couldn't control myself and asked him what's going on. He seemed confused and told me that nothing was going on and everything was fine. I didn't believe him for a second. I knew something was up. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't share this with my friends either. They had already warned me that stuff like this wasn't going to work out. One day, while me and my boyfriend were having dinner, I asked him in a casual tone if he's someone special. He tensed up, but then said he didn't know what I'm talking about. I asked him again and told him to tell me the truth, as we should be completely honest with each other. He hesitated for a bit, but then told me that he was seeing this girl more often. He said it was casual only. But instead of going through hookups with different people, he met her often, and that was it. His explanation sufficed. He was being honest with me and told me everything that was going on. I thought I didn't need to worry anymore. We were on a good track only. We then had dinner together and went to sleep. Our exams were coming soon, so we both were busy studying for our exams. This was our final sem. We didn't know what we were going to do after college, nor did we get the time to discuss it. I used to study mostly in university itself, whereas my boyfriend used to study at home. We used to spend less time with each other now. I was seeing other guys from the campus, and I didn't know what he was up to. I thought he was seeing that girl he mentioned in the dinner only. I didn't think much about it then. One day my boyfriend texted me and told me that he had something important to share with me. I went home to find him sitting on the couch. I asked him what was going on. He asked me if I remembered the girl he had mentioned that day. I told him that I remember her. He nodded and then told me that he likes her now and she feels the same way about him. I didn't understand where he was trying to get with all this. He said he just wanted me to know that. I said it's okay, and there was no rule that we could only like one person at a time. That seemed to relax him a bit. He told me that he was really happy that I was so understanding. Few days went like this. Everything was going normal. My boyfriend didn't spend much time with me, but that was fine with me because I didn't have much time either. I was so busy between exams and everything that I would get home really late, and then I would immediately go to sleep. It was only after quite a few days when I realized that my boyfriend wasn't coming at all. I asked him if everything was okay. He told me that everything was fine and not to worry. I was relieved then. I was seeing this new dude from college at that point. He knew that I was in an open relationship and was fine with it. I hung out in his place and didn't come back to my home for a weekend. When I finally got back to my home, I realized that all my stuff was gone. The apartment had none of my stuff in it. I was so shocked. I thought we had a robbery, but it sounded stupid even to me because it was like someone specifically picked out my stuff. I called up my boyfriend but couldn't get through. I waited for him to come back to the apartment. He finally came back home after 2-3 hours. I asked him what was wrong. Where did all my stuff go? He seemed really different that day. The way he walked in, his posture, everything was different. He finally said that he had to move all my stuff back to my dorm. I was shocked when he told me this. I asked him why he did that. He told me that his other girl was shifting here and I had to go back to the dorm. I didn't understand what he was saying. "You're kicking me out for someone else," I asked him straight away. He immediately got tense and said that I was taking things in the wrong way. He told me that her landlord was kicking her out because she didn't have the money and she had nowhere else to go. He told me that he had talked on campus, and since my dorm room was still empty, there was no problem with me moving back in the dorm. I told him that he could have at least discussed it with me before deciding everything on his own. He hugged me, and then said that he would have discussed it with me, but I didn't pick up my phone when he called in the morning, so he had no clue where I was. He already called his friend's truck to move stuff. Also, that girl had to vacate her apartment by today itself. I told him that he doesn't understand how embarrassing it was going to be for me by going back to the dorm like this. He then got angry and told me it wasn't going to be much more than it was for him after I cheated on him. That shut me up. I then thought there wasn't much point in fighting anyways because what's done is already done. I then went back to campus, to my dorm. It felt odd being there, but it was all right. In any case, I had to study for my exams and stuff, so it was better that I got to be on campus. My conversation with my boyfriends got less and less day by day. Whenever I would talk to him, he would talk to me for a bit, and then would tell me that something had come up so he had to go. After some time, he stopped texting me as well. When I used to text him, I would get responses so late that sometimes days would pass, but I still wouldn't get a response from him. It started to eat me up. I felt like he was hiding something from me. I decided to confront him about his behavior. He didn't come to campus anymore. Almost all our classes were over, and everyone was preparing for the final examination. One day I was with a guy. He asked me if I had broken up with my boyfriend. I looked at him with confusion. I had already told him that we were in an open relationship. He said that he was asking because he saw my boyfriend in a restaurant with a girl. I shrugged and told him that he saw other girls too. He said that they looked really cozy together and that's why he was asking. What he said felt off with me. I had enough of this drama. I was going to confront my boyfriend and tell him that we should stop this open relationship nonsense. Only if I knew that I was a bit too late in saying this to him. I went to his apartment to talk to him that evening. He opened the door with a smile on his face, but it immediately got erased as soon as he saw me. It was like he was expecting someone else. I went inside the apartment and was instantly shocked. It had been only a few days since I was coming back to this place, but the apartment was completely changed. It felt like someone had completely erased traces of me from here. I told my boyfriend that I needed to talk to him. He told me to sit on the couch while he went to get water for us. I was starting to feel like a guest, which used to be mine a few days back. He came and sat down on the couch against me. He always used to sit beside me and not against me. I found it odd, but I had bigger concerns to talk about. I asked him why he was avoiding me for the last few days. He said that he wasn't ignoring me. He was just occupied with work and didn't get the time to talk to me. I asked him how his girl was. He said she was good. I asked him if he still liked her, and he nodded yes. I then asked him if he liked her more than me. He was quiet for a bit, and that silence ate me up. I didn't wait any further for his response and told him that we should end this open relationship drama. He seemed confused by my statement. I said we've both done enough exploring throughout our college, and now it was time that we stopped it and just be with each other. He was listening to me but was not replying, so I continued telling how important he was to me, and we could be really together if we ended all that nonsense. I told him that we don't need to have everything if we had each other. He finally started speaking. He told me how he wished initially when we started this open relationship thing that I would come to him and tell him this exact thing that I spoke about now. He said that he would keep waiting for me to come and tell him that I really wanted him and no one else. I kept listening to him. This was the first time we were having this conversation. I asked him why he didn't tell me this before. He said he wanted me to feel that way on my own. He didn't want to ask me to end whatever I had going on with other guys. He wanted me to end that myself. I was shocked at his words, but then I told him that it was okay. Maybe I understood it late, but I understood it now and was ready to end everything with everyone else. I told him that it will be just us in our relationship, and no one else. He then told me that it was too late for that, as he was already in love with someone else now. I was shocked at his statement. In our entire time together, we had never told each other that we loved each other, but he was saying this to me for someone else now. I told him that it's not possible. I was still his girlfriend. He said it doesn't matter anymore because I sent him to another girl's arms myself. He then started telling me how he realized the importance of a relationship by being with someone else. He said that she gave him all the things that I could never give him. Relationships aren't just physical intimacy. It's much more than that. He told me. He went on telling me how in a real relationship, people don't go to other people's beds. I told him that he cannot blame everything on me. He agreed for an open relationship as well. He said he did agree to it, but he had no other option. I had already cheated on him once, and there was no guarantee that I wouldn't have done it again. I told him that I wouldn't have cheated on him again. I only did the open relationship because he agreed to it. He laughed and then said I wasn't being honest to him. He said that I was so addicted to hookup culture that I couldn't live without it anymore. I was shocked at his words. He kept telling me how a girl like me couldn't be someone's girlfriend ever. I left his house after he ended things with me. He said that his girlfriend was about to get back home and he didn't want to ruin her mood by me being there. I left his house after getting hurt a lot. I had never seen him after that day, nor did I wish to see him again. We passed each other during our examinations, but it was last semester. Thank God for that. I never had to see him again. This was my messy, complicated story. I know you all must be thinking that it was so messy. Trust me, I know that. I have taken a break for good from any sort of relationship. No dating, no situationship, no friends with benefits. I'm done with everything for good now. Thank you for reading my story till here. Update. To all the guys in the comment telling that my ex did a good thing by ending things with me, I want you to know that I do read these comments and it hurts me. I'm an actual human being with emotions. I never claimed to be perfect or that I'm a green flag. I never claimed to be any of those things. I just shared my story with you all with complete honesty. I could have hidden my mistakes when I shared it or could have not shared it all. Instead, I shared it here so that you all know that life sometimes gets messy and it's okay. Also, I would just like to add that I was only 20 when all this began, so I know I did make mistakes, but I was young and had no idea. Hi guys, I'm currently trying to find the right words to quantify what this post is about. I don't know if I'm here to talk about how I cheated on my boyfriend and how I'm scared of him finding out, or how I'm afraid of getting dumped by my affair partner. I sound dumb and stupid right now, but please bear with me. I'm currently trying to evaluate the amount of tension and unnecessary anxiety I have brought upon myself just by a single mistake I made at a night out. Damn. When my parents used to tell me how parties and late nights out are just another ticket to misbehaving and losing your morals, I thought they were just trying to stop me from having fun and being free. Now, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place just because of a night out that led me to do something stupid. I cheated on my boyfriend with a handsome salesman at the retail store, and now I'm at the verge of being dumped by my boyfriend and the guy I cheated with. How ironic, right? My name is Eloise. I'm a 26-year-old baker, and I live in a town called Bingley, which is located in Bradford, England. The name of my boyfriend is Gregory, and we've been together for 2.5 years. We have known each other for 3 years now. Wow, I can't believe this is what it feels like to be the cheater behind the keyboard. Writing this has made me understand just how horrible being vulnerable is. Gregory and I live separately, but we hang out often. Just 2 months ago, he invited me out to a party, and we decided to stay till it was quite late. Gregory had to rush home because he had work the next day. I decided to go to the retail store and get myself something before going home. I can't deny the fact that I was already drunk even before I left the party. But maybe I was just tipsy, if I can still remember everything that occurred. When I got to the retail store, the salesman made me swoon. When I say he made me swoon, I mean it literally. It was a weird sensation for me because I've never been the type of person to be attracted to just anyone, especially when I'm just meeting the person for the first time. I don't know what happened to me that day because I was certainly not acting myself. The salesman introduced himself as Dave, and then he asked for my name. Our conversation just began from there, and then he told me his shift was over and decided to escort me home. I woke up in his house the next day, and I swear that I almost fainted when the realization of what I'd done hit me like a bucket of cold water. I cheated on my boyfriend with a salesman I'd just met. Dave is a very good-looking guy. I can't deny that fact. Maybe that's why I was swooned by him and decided to follow him home. I don't even have an explanation for what happened. I was meant to be escorted home, not turn out being the escort. Before I left his place that day, Dave made sure he asked for my phone number and saved his number on my phone. Gregory doesn't know what happened yet. I've managed to keep it a secret from him for the past 2 months. I know I'm shameless and selfish for doing that, but I really do not have an explanation. My survival instinct just and desire to keep my boyfriend just kicked in, and I desired to keep my mouth shut and keep everything from Gregory. At first, I wanted to pretend like it was just a one-time thing with Dave and that it happened as a result of my drinking. But it developed to become a friend's benefit thing. I can't even believe that I'm insinuating that I had a fling with someone while I was in a relationship with my boyfriend. Dave and I were constantly in contact. I think I'm infatuated by him and his good looks. He's good-looking, charming, and flirty. He's the definition of a bad idea, yet I found myself in a fling with him. I risked my relationship with my boyfriend by being with Dave, and I risked my fling with Dave by being with my boyfriend. Now I think Dave is about to dump me, and my boyfriend is on the verge of finding out the truth. I'm in a big mess, and the only person I can really blame is myself. To think I've been feeling like I could literally have my cake and eat it back is crazy. I thought I was being smooth and discreet. I was having fun by having a little bit of both worlds. But guess what? I'm about to lose both worlds and end up with nothing. I got a text from Dave yesterday saying that we needed to talk. That was the only contact of the text. Before, Dave would check up on me regularly and text me with sweet words. Yesterday, his words were very plain and weird. I could tell that there was something wrong. There's also every possibility that Dave plans on breaking up with me. We're not really dating, but we have a thing going on. If Dave breaks up with me, I'm literally done for. How will I cope with my boyfriend knowing he could find out any time? I know how smart Gregory is. It's only a matter of time before he tells me he's been aware of my cheating escapes. Speaking about Gregory, I've noticed a lot of changes in him. He's been suspicious of me, but he doesn't just know how to admit it without being wrong. I'm sure he's just waiting till he has enough evidence so I cannot deny it. Now Dave wants to break up with me? It's not possible, and I cannot allow it. I don't want to sound violent and weird, but I have risked a lot to be with Dave. He asked us to meet tomorrow, and I'm most definitely ready to meet him. I suspect that he'll try to break things off. Please advise me, guys. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'll do if Dave decides to break things off with me. Update. Hi guys, it's me again. I almost got dumped, but I made an escape. What can I say? Life seems to be turning against me with every single turn. Am I afraid? Of course I am. I don't know if I should watch my back or count my blessings because the discoveries I've made in the past 2 weeks are just shocking. I know a cheater like me doesn't really have the right to talk about loyalty and betrayal, but damn, I think I'll have to talk about it. So, I met up with Dave just like I said I would. Immediately, I walked into the cafe he requested us to meet at. I could just tell that there was trouble brewing in the air. He looked stiff and angry, and his facial expressions were just proof of what I'd been afraid of. I'd never seen him like that, and it bothered me a lot. I knew that my suspicions were about to become reality, and it took all the self-control I had in me for me not to run away. I just didn't want to hear what he had to say because I could just guess that none of it was going to be in my favor. Well, I was actually very right for feeling that way. Dave told me he needed a break and wanted to focus on his job. I had to ask him if he was crazy. Focus on his job? What job? Didn't he know he had a job before he took me to his house that day? I was very angry, and I did not hesitate to show him just how angry I was. Dave didn't wait to listen to me. He just left the cafe immediately and switched off his phone. I looked like a mad person that day because of the way I tried running after him. It was a crazy scenario, and I'm very ashamed of myself. But what could I do? I was practically shivering just from the possibility of losing Dave. I'm the type of person that gets extremely scared when I know there's nothing to fall back on. I think that's what they call daddy issues. I hate the feeling of vulnerability and being helpless. I also have the possibility of being left with no one. I know I'm a hypocrite for feeling this way just after I cheated on my boyfriend and had a full-blown going behind his back. I think I deserve the karma that's slowly making its way toward me. But, just like everyone else, I'm currently trying to fight my way out of it because I'm scared. When I got back home that day, I decided to give Dave the time he needed. I was also contemplating telling Gregory the truth. I wanted to let him know that I was cheating on him. But I just couldn't find the courage to do it. If I was asked who I'd choose between Gregory and Dave, I honestly know that Gregory is my choice. Dave is charming and all, but he's a flirt and a playboy who is never serious. The only reason I'm trying to hold on to Dave is because I definitely know that Gregory is going to dump me once he finds out that I cheated on him. I know that there is no possibility that he is going to forgive me, and that is why I am trying to make sure my relationship with Dave still stands. I know that what I am doing is called selfish, but I cannot bring myself to accept the fact that the person I put my relationship at risk for is planning to dump me. That is why I am trying my best to save at least one relationship. But it feels like the walls are caving in, and I know that the end of both relationships is here. Like I said earlier, I do not live with Gregory. We live separately, but we always meet up almost every day. I do stay with him during the weekend sometimes. I was not supposed to stay with him during this weekend, but I decided to give it a try since I am aware that a lot is going on. During those 2 days I stayed with him, I realized that I'm also on the verge of losing Gregory too. Gregory has become cold and aloof, and he was even showing obvious disgust for my presence at his house. One thing I don't understand is why Gregory and Dave seem to be acting weird at the same time. I am very suspicious of this, and I have even come to the conclusion that both of them are communicating. I don't think this is far-fetched, and I know that there is every possibility that they both came together and decided to teach me a lesson. Gregory even decided to stop calling me like he usually did. Forget you usually. Gregory has stopped calling me at all. Even the normal text messages are now forced as I am the one trying to make conversation. My 2.5-year relationship is slipping off my fingers and there is nothing I can do about it. It will really hurt me if I realize that both of them planned this together and figured out that I was dating both of them, so they decided to have a bro thing. Dave is aware that I am in a relationship, and he has been aware since the very second day we started this thing. I told him I had a boyfriend and that we were kind of serious, and he told me that he was not going to judge me for that. I believed him. I actually stupidly believed him, but now I am in a position to doubt every single thing he told me. The only reason I kept saying Dave even after I realized that I was literally cheating on my boyfriend is because of his charming ways. I don't want to sound vain and partial, but Dave has a way of acting all charming, nice, and welcoming, and that is the reason I fell right into his trap. If I find out that Dave has anything to do with Gregory's sudden distance, I don't trust what I will do to him. I swear that there are many instances when I wanted to tell Gregory the truth, but Dave has assured me that there was no need. I know that the relationship is between me and Gregory, and not Dave and Gregory. I should have listened to myself and not taken his advice, but it is always easier for cheaters to take the easy route out, and that is a mistake I made, and that is why I am regretting it right now. I'm going to keep you all updated on what happens next, and I honestly hope that it is something positive. I know that the truth is eventually going to come out, and all I'm trying to do is just try to make it wait longer. I'll update you all in a week or two. Bye. Update 2. I got dumped, guys. I assure you that you made no mistakes. You read that right. I knew that it was just a matter of time and this was going to happen eventually, but I did not know that it was going to be this soon. I've always imagined what it would be like for the truth to get out and for me to receive the heartbreak text or speech from Gregory. But nothing in my imagination ever prepared me for what actually happened. Gregory dumped me in such a way that it left me shook for days. The fact that he had been planning his big comeback and revenge is just the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced. I know this might sound like an exaggeration, but I literally dined with my enemy. Gregory bought me a new dress and told me that he was going to take me out to dinner. Unknown to me that what Gregory actually wanted to do was break up with me. I can't even type this without taking a pause and taking a deep breath. Gregory practically embarrassed me in the worst way possible, and to think that I know that I deserve what happened to me is the most shameful, pitiful thing I've ever imagined. In this case, it was not imagination, it was actually reality, and I experienced it live and direct. Gregory sent me this beautiful dress, and I accepted it happily. It was a red dress, and it looked quite good on me. I even got my makeup done, because I was very happy that things were going to be better between me and Gregory. When I got to the restaurant, I realized that there were guests I didn't know were coming. Gregory invited his parents and siblings. I am not even joking when I say this. It was like I was at a family event. The only difference was that it was their family against just me. I came unprepared because Gregory didn't tell me that his family was going to be at the dinner. I was shocked to see them there, and I was practically defenseless. I thought it was going to be a normal dinner between couples, but I did not know that his family was invited. I'm sure you all know that it's a normal thing to prepare ahead of time before meeting your partner's family. It's mostly common among ladies when we rehearse the things to say and answers to the questions that we assume we would be asked. It's our way of getting ready and not being caught off guard. In my case, I wasn't just caught off guard. I was disrespected, embarrassed, insulted, and gaslighted. I think this is fair because this is exactly what I've been doing to Gregory. But to be honest, I never saw it coming. Even though I suspected that Gregory knew I was cheating on him and there was every possibility that he was going to have his revenge, never in a million years did I imagine that his own version of revenge was going to be exposing me in front of his own family members. When I got to the restaurant and sat down with his family, I could already sense that I'd been the topic of discussion before I came. His parents looked at me like I was feces under their feet. I swear that it took all the control in me not to stand up and run away. It was almost like I was sitting before them without clothes. I tried asking Gregory what was going on, but Gregory pretended like you did not even know me. He just told his family how he discovered that I'd been cheating on him. The Gregory I saw that they looked like a beast. I could tell that I had hurt him a lot and he was very disappointed in me. I was also very disappointed in myself because I made choices that were very poor. The worst part was that I kept making those wrong choices continuously, even though I was aware that I was only ruining the beautiful thing I had. I'm certain that one of the reasons Gregory made sure his family was present before he broke up with me is because of his mother's fondness for me. His mother and I have always been close, and she's always been in support of our relationship. Even before Gregory exposed me in front of his family, I've always been disgusted with the choices I made, even though I couldn't muster up the courage to correct all the mistakes I've made. I chose to take the easy route because I was a coward who was afraid of facing the consequences of her actions. But the fact that a woman who always loved to see me and smiled when she saw me, looked at me with a huge amount of disgust and hatred, made me regret everything all over again. Gregory's mother, who was always fond of me, looks like she regretted all the moments of kindness she showed me. I was deeply disturbed, embarrassed, and disappointed. Gregory told me that our relationship was over and that he gave me 2 months to refund all the money, clothing, jewelry, and everything he's ever spent on me. Yes, you all read that right. I am not even joking at all. I left the restaurant thinking about where I would get the money to pay him back. Where would I even start from? How did he expect me to refund 2.5 years worth of gifts? Even though I'm still very much upset with myself, I cannot deny the fact that I have also spent a lot of money on Gregory. I mean, there was a point in my life where I actually thought that I would get married to him. That just goes to show how much we invested in each other before I went on and messed everything up. This might not be really relevant in this journey, but I will still say this just for reference sake. I am not a lazy woman, and I work for my money. I have never been dependent on Gregory's money or gifts. I am even the one who rejected his offer for me to move into his house. I am independent, and I have been so almost all my life. I work as a baker, and I work my ass off to earn what I eat. I think it's a little too cruel and weird of him to ask me for 2.5 years worth of gifts. I could also ask him for the same things because I have also spent money on him. The next day after you broke up with me, I decided to go over to his house so we could talk. I knew I had messed up and I knew the relationship was broken beyond repair. I didn't go to his house to ask for a second chance. I wanted to ask for his forgiveness because even before we started dating, we were good friends. We started off as good friends, and I don't want us to end up as people who stop talking to each other. I knew that it was going to be hard for him to forgive me and forget about everything, but I just wanted to try my luck to see if he could forgive me. But when I got to his house, what I saw there really shocked me. My best friend was at his house and they were making out before I stepped inside. Can you imagine the level of betrayal I felt? She was someone who was very aware of the dynamic of the relationship I had with Gregory and Dave. She was my very close best friend, and I told her everything about the relationship. Even when I first cheated on Gregory and was very scared, she was the first person I spoke to. I felt very guilty, and I needed someone to talk to, so I spoke to her because I thought I could trust her. But at the end of the day, I realized that she was just a green snake in the green grass. She literally listened to me talk about my problems only for her to go behind my back and date my boyfriend. I realized that there was every possibility that she had been visiting Gregory even while we were still together. It dawned on me that she must have been the one to have told Gregory the truth. I know that after what I did to Gregory, I do not deserve any form of loyalty from anyone. But it still hurts me to see my own best friend with my ex-boyfriend. What even hurt me the most is the fact that she listened to me when I told her how I felt. The fact that she encouraged me not to tell him the truth is even more alarming. I'm even the bigger fool for listening to her advice and not doing what was right. She had her own bigger intentions, and I was not smart enough to realize it at the time. When I walked towards them and made my presence known, I did not see any form of guilt in her eyes. She even had the look of victory. It's the kind of look that told me she had been planning everything for a long time. A part of me wanted to be angry and even physically hurt her, but I knew that it was just my karma that got me hard. If I didn't cheat, she would have never had the opportunity to even dream of entering that living room. But I made the mistake of being unfaithful, which meant that I opened doors for anyone to enter into the relationship. Gregory practically sent me out of the house immediately he sighted me. He didn't even wait to listen to the things I had to say to him. I came to make peace with him, but it was obvious that he was not even interested in listening to me. I honestly tried my best, but all efforts proved to be in vain. I had no choice than to go back home. I knew that there was no use trying to make peace with someone that despised me. But I am smart enough to know that I deserve everything Gregory did to me, except the part where he asked me to refund his money. I am not going to refund anything because I never asked him for gifts. Everything he gave to me, he gave out of his own free will, and I did not force him. Even the dress he bought me for dinner was his own decision. I've also spent substantial money on him, and I don't think I plan on getting it back. So even though that chapter is painfully closed, I made it clear to him that I do not plan on refunding any money to him. Now guys, you might think that my misery is over, but it literally started from there. I got a text from Dave yesterday stating that he wanted to see me urgently. Dave and I have not been in contact since that day when he told me he needed a break. I tried reaching out to him, but it appeared like he blocked my number. Now that I got that text from him, I know that it can only mean that our relationship might be coming to an end. We all know that when your partner asks for a break, 90% of those relationships never come back the same. I don't even really think I'm interested in a relationship with Dave. I'm just not ready to buy the idea that I will lose both relationships at once. It's a truth I am not yet ready to accept, and that is why I am ready to do my best to save my relationship with Dave. The thought of how much being with Dave cost me in my long relationship is making me scared of losing my relationship with Dave. I'll feel even worse if I end up losing the relationship I have with Dave. It will mean that I put everything at stake just so I could end up with absolutely nothing. That is why I am literally here praying and hoping that Dave will only bring good news when we meet. I just hope that my relationship with Dave ends up being among the 10% of relationships that survive breaks. All I can do is hope. I'll be making an update to this post as soon as I can. I have accepted to meet them in the next 2 days. Whatever happens, I'll be sure to let you all know. Till next time. Update 3. I got dumped again. Yes, you read that right. I got dumped for the second time. I can't believe I'm here again with the same unfortunate experience. When I told you that I was hoping and praying that my relationship with Dave was safe, I was not joking at all. But it seems like karma really decided to make sure it's finished its work. I don't even know where to begin this similar breakup journey from. Dave actually broke up with me. Even after all the hopes I had, I was crushed yet again. If this isn't my story and it didn't happen to me, I'd not believe this even if I read it somewhere else. How can I get dumped twice back to back? It happened in literally the same period of time. I didn't even have the time to gather my thoughts and heal from the breakup with Gregory. Dave decided he couldn't wait any longer, and so he broke up with me. I guess 2 times the charm, right? Wow. I cannot believe that this is me. Dave invited me to his house just so he could break up with me. That day I got dressed and even took extra time to bake a cake for him. His birthday was a week before, but I couldn't bake him a cake because we stopped communicating. I decided to use that opportunity and get him a cake. But trust me, nothing prepared me for the aftermath at all. I know some of you might say I am shameless for baking a cake for Dave just after I broke up with Gregory. Well, there's nothing I can say to that. I don't think it's right for me to keep dwelling on the past. Gregory literally moved on with my best friend. I knew that there was no chance of us getting back together. In my stupid mind, I could try to save the going I had with Dave. I thought it was the right thing to do. I didn't want to be left with another reason to regret my actions again. So I decided to take enough stuff to stay over at Dave's place for 3 days. I thought it would be a little way for us to spend time together after being away because of the break. Yes, Guy, I was that positive and hopeful that I'd get back with Dave. Unfortunately for me, that was not the case at all. I would have really appreciated it if Dave had just made his intentions known to me from the start. Instead, he decided to play dumb and go along with all the preparations I'd made. This even went as far as welcoming me in the sweetest way possible. He was so happy to receive the birthday cake, and he devoured it like it was a freaking buffet. Believe me when I say he devoured it, because he really devoured it. I was very happy to see how excited he was, because I believed that that was a sign that we were going to get back together. He made it seem like he was back to his normal charming self with the way he flirted and joked. I actually believed everything and did not know that it was all just a facade. The first day and slept over, I forgot all about the pending problems and just tried my best to have fun. We were talking and just spending time together like normal couples did, even though I knew we were not a normal couple. The fact that I forgot all about everything is just a testament to how well he played me and made me believe that everything was fine. Even as I'm writing this now, I don't understand why he had to fake it when all he wanted to do was break up with me at the end of the day. It does not make sense at all, and that just goes to show how unserious he is. I know that I am literally at fault for everything, but Dave and Gregory seem to have been the perfect pair to make my life a living hell. It was practically hard for me to understand everything, but I was able to get to the root of it at the end of the day. Before I tell you all how I got the piece of the puzzle together, I'll let you know how Dave broke up with me. On the 3rd day I spent in his house, Dave decided to have a serious conversation with me. He told me he was aware that I was no longer together with my boyfriend. Imagine the level of shock I felt when he told me that. It was hard for me to understand how Dave found out Gregory and I broke up. I did not have a public relationship with Gregory, so it's not like we posted our breakup online. Up until that moment, I didn't even know that Dave knew Gregory's name. I've never mentioned Gregory's name to Dave. I just told him that I had a boyfriend, and that was it. I never saw the need to tell him what my boyfriend's name was. But on that particular day, Gregory told me he knew I broke up with this, and he called his name. I was very surprised because I did not expect Dave to be acquainted with Gregory. I stood up and demanded answers from Dave immediately. I had to know what was going on because it felt like I was being played right before my eyes. Even though I've been dating two guys, I never intentionally tried to make it a game. I told Dave I had a boyfriend before we started having a fling, so there was no way it made sense that he'd go behind my back and try to plan me with my real boyfriend. The only person that had the right to make that more was Gregory because he was the only one I really kept in the dark. But the discovery I made that day was very different from what I imagined. Dave told me that things were over between us. He said he was no longer interested in the relationship and wanted us to break up. I was shocked to say the least. I was so angry that I had to ask him why he only told me this when it was already too late. I didn't understand why he made me spend 2 days at his place when all he wanted to do was break up with me. Dave was not remorseful at all, and he made it clear that he did not give a damn. I was practically furious, and the proof of how angry I'd been is currently on Dave's face because I scratched the hell out of his face. I had long nails fixed, and I made sure that I pierced it into his skin. I am not a violent person, but I had no self-control that day. The fact that Dave had the audacity to think he could play me and then try and be nonchalant about it took me off the edge. Dave did not try to be defenseless when I came at him. He also tried to push me and fight back. But trust me, a woman always has pepper spray in her bag. I ran to the room and grabbed the pepper spray I always kept in my purse. I sprayed his eyes till I was practically rolling on the floor. That gave me enough time to pack my belongings and vacate his house. I didn't have much to park because I only brought in a duffel bag. I spent hours shaking on my couch when I got back to my house that day. The realization of what had happened had me shaking. I was so scared, betrayed, and angry at the same time that I didn't even know what to do with myself. It took a lot of self-control and anger management for me not to practically ruin my living room. I was embarrassed and disappointed in myself, but I was also very shaken with the fact that I got dumped twice barely in a week's time. I know that I had it coming and the shooting always had its repercussions, but I never expected my boyfriend and my affair partner to have come together to teach me a lesson. This is just my conclusion of what happened because I still don't have the full story. Dave refused to tell me what he knew, and Gregory is ignoring me. Even though I'm not aware of the full truth, I know that Gregory and Dave definitely came together to plan what to do to me. I got dumped twice, and it's still something that shocks me. Apart from the fact that I was dumped by my affair partner and boyfriend, I'm still trying to get over the fact that my best friend went ahead to sleep with my ex-boyfriend. If this is really the karma I deserve for cheating, I'm very certain that I got it hard. But I still accept that none of this embarrassment and disrespect would have happened if I never cheated. Even though everything that has happened to me is messed up, I can't deny that I have a hand in it. Nobody cares and life goes on. Only me is left with my repercussions. Lesson learned the hard way.